Hi, everybody. Welcome to Now Z Here. More and more people, celebrities, vloggers, are talking about their experiences with anxiety and depression. And so today is going to just be my own contribution to that, or at least a part of a contribution to that. Because, yes, I have been 3 months on testosterone, but there's another medication that I've been taking for not a year, but over 6 months now. It's essentially Prozac. And admitting that feels a little more like a confession than I think it should. I mean, our personal medical situations and the medications that we may or may not be taking, I think that's up to everyone whether they want to disclose it or how much they want to talk about it or whether it's relevant. At the same time, it's estimated that 1 in 10 adults in the United States is taking some kind of antidepressant or anti-anxiety medication. So when it is relevant, I feel like it shouldn't be a big deal to mention it. And yet it can sometimes still feel like this sort of dark secret, or admitting that there's something about you that needs fixing. And, we could get into the question of, if 1 in 10 people has to take this type of medication, what does that say about the world that is shaping us and that we're forced to live in day to day? But also, I just like it to be less of a taboo to even mention it. So here's the story of how I wound up taking antidepressants. It did take a while for me to come to the decision to go on medication. I mean, I wasn't actively suicidal, and the feelings that I was coping with were not to the point that they were an enormous detriment to my everyday life. I could still go to work, I could still hang out with friends, but there would be days and there would be periods of time where I would essentially, it wasn't so much a question of feeling nothing as it seemed that nothing could affect me, or if it did, it wouldn't affect me for long. As if the baseline emotion, like the emotion that I might just have sitting here not doing very much and just observing the world around me, wasn't really here. It was kind of like here. And then maybe something would make me smile. Maybe somebody would tell a joke and make me laugh. And I'd come back up here over the normal line for a few minutes and then kind of sink back down into that lower baseline. And I knew that it wasn't okay because it didn't feel okay. And I would sink into these depressive moods where I was just consumed with the question of why this world? If there is an infinity of possibilities in the grand scheme of whatever is inventing or generating the universe, why is this the one that I am stuck in? Not only that, but why in all the vast possibility and all the vast potential that humanity can come up with, all the different ways in which we can imagine to live, why is this our society in which creativity is devalued more and more by the day and true passion is just squeezed out of us over the course of our lifetimes? And they tell us we can be anything and then punish us emotionally and economically for not choosing a job or a career, a lifestyle that fits in with the capitalist, heteronormative, just. And I would get angry and I would get hopeless, and I would feel just so stuck. So there was that, and there was the periods of low baseline where I just felt empty, and nothing could make me feel more than empty for more than a few minutes. You know, I did plenty of stuff to help out with it. I've gone to therapy. I'm going to therapy. I exercise. I took up meditation, started looking into Zen Buddhism for pretty much the answer to the question of that why that I was searching for. And still, I reached a point where I thought to myself, I'm doing all these things. I'm exercising, I'm meditating, I'm keeping track of my sleep, I'm going to therapy. And all of that does, all that effort gets me, is feeling fine, just okay. All it got me was not feeling shitty. And that's something. I don't want to discount it, but that's a lot of work. That's a lot of effort to put in just to feel basically okay. And so I went and talked to a doctor about it and got a prescription. And you know what? I still do all of those things, because all of those things, I am not discounting the value of them. They still help. Only now I can manage to let them get me a little above okay. And now I don't sink into those despairing stretches of time. You know, I might have passing thoughts. Everybody has passing thoughts. The world can be really shitty. Things are incredibly hard out there for a lot of people. There's a lot of people out there who don't have access to the kind of advantages that people like me have been able to take. So I guess what I'm getting at here is do what you can and do what you have to. Because living with that cloud following you around, it's not worth it not to fight back in every way you can. That's it from me this week. I hope everyone's having a really good week. It's a beautiful day today in Chicago. I'm Ronan. That's Wadsworth. Always be changing.